Hey everybody, this is Desmond Antonio Blackburn, author of this amazing e-course. First of all, welcome. Thank you so much for being a part of this. So what's the name of this e-course? Help! I need to pivot now. 10 ways to reinvent yourself, your business, and your skills in the era of COVID-19. Listen, I recognize that as you're hearing things on the news and conversations, they're saying words like pivot, which is simply just basically the ability for you to go ahead and switch and move from one direction to another. And while this may seem so simplistic, there are a lot of people out there that are saying this isn't so simple. Yes, the concept may be easy, but not so simple. And while it may be, matter of fact, be child's play for some, it's tough for the most of us. So I wanted to put together an e-course designed to go ahead and help you understand how to go ahead and make the adjustments needed from you to go ahead and basically move from one skill, one business, be able to go ahead and take what you have, reposition it and make it something else so that you and your family can not only survive, but thrive. Now, let me make something very, very clear. I don't have all of the answers. Nobody does. This is a brand new catastrophic worldwide event. But here's what I do know. As a professional coach, my job daily is to help get people out of their own way. And the reality is right now with your creativity, with your smarts, chances are you're already sitting on the answers. But if you are now basically burdened with quote unquote worry, burdened with stress, oftentimes the very best that you have to offer never ever really gets to, matter of fact, be able to go ahead and get from the back of your head to the front to where you're now able to go ahead and make that move. So your e-course here today is designed to go ahead and help you get out of the way, recognize those blocks, and help you now, matter of fact, perform exercises that will help you provide the options necessary to help you now move and thrive. Guys, this is an amazingly exciting time. So take advantage of this e-course here. Pay attention. We got some really great stuff. So let's go ahead and move on and go on. So let me just show you what's going to be in this e-course here. So we got about 10 ways. I said 10 ways to go ahead and help you pivot. So let me break it down to you. First chapter is going to be how to basically double down on your faith. Second, how to abandon normal. Third, how to build a new team. 4, cave in Afghanistan. You're going to like that one. It's kind of funny. Get accountable. Number 5, how to get accountable fast and why that's going to be so very important. Number 6, how to get busy. And I mean, really busy. Number 7, how to set your level to survive. Take a look at that. And also too, matter of fact, number 8, how to feed the baby, not what you think. And number 9, matter of fact, how to now start looking at using progress as the sole measuring point in terms of what you should be measuring going forward. And number 10, how to get real, and most of all, get some sleep. Okay, guys, I'm not going to go ahead and do any more, matter of fact, regarding this. I'm excited. Let's go ahead and get into it, and let's go ahead and get to work. Okay, double down on your faith. Listen, I'm going to go ahead and basically, matter of fact, quote a great author by the name of Thomas Carlyle. He who has hope has everything. Listen, right now, if you're a person like, for example, in this case, I'm a Christian, so cat's out the bag. I practice Christianity, but most of all, I practice my faith. And what does that faith do? Well, first of all, by definition, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And right now, what many people, what's at the crux of anxiety? The unknown. It's the biggest driver of anxiety out there. So with this in mind, then, when you have people who are used to only believing what they can see, or have been trusting their talents, their contacts, and their money, and then only to find out that when all 3 of those things and more have now gone away, because they haven't practiced a level of belief, now all of a sudden they start getting depressed. They get anxious. They start making bad decisions. And as a result of that, they go from bad to worse. Whereas a person who's now operating in faith has a connection. Listen, I'm a Christian, but maybe you're Islam, maybe Hindu. The point of the matter is that all faiths, in fact, all religions have a basic component, believing in others bigger than themselves to go ahead and handle and know that they can see around the corner. What does that actually do? Well, it allows you to go ahead and basically now see that there is hope for the future, so that you recognize that the current time of suffering won't be lasting very long. You know, also too, the beautiful thing about when a person double downs on their faith, and we'll talk about that in a second, it actually provides an amazing benefit. It's called humility. Humility in troubled times is a powerful asset. Why? Because the solution to a new problem usually comes after a person basically raises their hands and acknowledges, I don't know. Now that person becomes teachable, and all of a sudden the blocks of what they thought, what they knew go away. And now they start becoming open to brand new ideas, some of which are happening in prayer, some of which are happening talking to other people of faith. So what are we saying right now? For a lot of you right now who are looking at basically a huge abyss with a lot of questions and very little answers, this is a time for you to go ahead and double down on your faith. I will go ahead and start off by meditating on Proverbs exclusively, as well as Ecclesiastes. This is basically the two books in regards to wisdom. And what do you need right now? Yeah, more wisdom. Also, too, if you haven't been to church in a while on that, or get with your Christian friends, get with them, start praying. But more importantly, you need to be doing this not to get religious, but to go ahead and now start doubling down on your faith to be able to go ahead and connect with the person who's able to go ahead and see you around the corner and encourage your faith. Trust me, this works every single time. Let's move on. So how to abandon normal? Yeah, this portion here is huge. Normal defined. Let's go ahead and define that right now, because a lot of people don't really, I'm realizing when I'm talking to people, they don't really know what normal really means. So let me go ahead and give you the definition of what normal is. Normal is conforming to a standard, usual, typical, or expected. Think about that for a second. Now that I see that in the true light of day, I'm not exactly loving the word normal. In fact, now I'm thinking, maybe the changes that we're going through right now, although be it extremely uncomfortable, detrimental in a lot of ways and all stuff, may actually end up leading us to a good place. But follow along here. So why do we need to go ahead and abandon normal? First of all, you need to go ahead and understand something. An unhealthy longing for the past slows your progress. Hear what I'm saying? An unhealthy longing for the past. And for a lot of us, that past may be as soon as January or February going on here. So when you're now basically spending days, if not months, talking about, man, gosh, I really wish things would go back to where that was normal. What ends up happening is the fact that it slows your progress of how to deal with the now. It steals your joy and blinds you to the benefits of what's directly in front of you. In many cases, a lot of individuals are now finding out that the very steps that they were taking were simply inadequate. And right now in front of you, there are new technologies, new resources, new friends, new associations, new points of knowledge, and now are opening up in front of you that you can now use to go to your next level that you are ignoring because of your longing for the past. The past is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is a gift. That's why they call it the present. Not a bad little limerick here, but I thought it was appropriate. Abandoning normal can force us to wake up and leap forward. It can also challenge what we thought we knew. We may not like the answers, at least right now in the short term, but if we abandon yesterday's conclusions, and as a matter of fact, we can probably adapt and even move, I'd say, a tad bit quicker on being able to go ahead and get the jump on not only surviving this period, but thriving. Sound good? All right, wonderful. Let's keep it going. So how to build your new team in this season. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and borrow this from our good friends over there, Les Brown. And also, Les Brown, matter of fact, famed, motivational speaker and author, coined a phrase called only OQP, only quality people. If you lost a job or had a business shut down and all stuff, this is your time to really begin to level up, as people will go ahead and say, and surround yourself with people who are intentionally positive and are disciplining themselves to simply move forward. This I cannot emphasize enough. Listen, like I said, you can go ahead and choose right now to get on the internet, hang out with friends, get on the phone half a day and talk about doom and gloom and why everything sucks. But all you'll be doing is basically, recycling bad air. And you know what ends up happening? You don't get better and better. You get sicker and sicker. So you must surround yourself with people who think differently and creatively. Right now in this season of unknowns, the most creative will win. So if you're saying, I'm not that guy, you know who that person is, man or woman alike and all stuff, and make a decision to go ahead and get in that space. Because here's the beautiful thing. When you're abiding among people like that, like the virus being contagious, great ideas become contagious as well. You know, the Bible says that if you abide among the wise, you shall soon become like them. Food for thought. Moving on. But what if I don't know anybody like that, Des? I'm in a small town, or I'm a loner, or I'm not really like that, or I can't make this social media thing work. Listen, the beautiful thing about this, I'm so glad that this is happening now instead of happening back in 1985 or 1895. The point is right now, the ability for you to go to connect with thought leaders, the most creative, the smartest right now is easier than ever before, just with the move of your little finger. Facebook groups, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter. You can now connect with world leaders and they can be communicating directly with you. Now what ends up happening, the very mentors you're looking for are right there at your fingertips. All you need to go ahead and look. So don't worry that you don't necessarily are surrounded with what you consider the smallest tools in the drawer. On that, get online, go ahead and now join some groups, be part of some masterminds, and be around individuals who are smarter than you, more creative than you. And by you now sitting there now becoming the student, you'll find out that their energy and creativity will indeed spark some things that you did not know. Trust me, this always works. CIA. I need you to join the CIA. No, I'm not talking about you becoming a spy. CIA is my little, matter of fact, acronym for Cave in Afghanistan. You know, when I started my business, when I went full time as a professional strategist, clarity strategy, and accountability coach back in August of 2019, that I already knew that for me to go ahead and be successful in this business, I had to go ahead and basically be laser focused. And I oftentimes uttered the phrase, I'm going to go into a cave in Afghanistan. Okay. What that basically means, the fact that I was going to basically be, matter of fact, eliminating the distractions, get as remote, and so I can just focus on only what matters at this time. So seasons of disruption, like what we're having right now, requires an insane amount of thought and focus. So if you're spending basically upwards of 4 to 5 hours a day on Netflix, Hulu, and basically binge watching constantly episodes of Psych and matter of fact, sitcoms of any sort, you're really missing the boat. You need to basically be in a cave in Afghanistan. Unfortunately, I get it. You know, with 24-hour news on that and entertainment and our connection with social media, getting that level of focus so that we can be quiet seems to be almost impossible. So here's your first strategy here going on with this. You have to find your figurative cave. No, you may not say, well, I can't travel to the mountains like I normally do. I can go in and get quiet. Your focus isn't going to be in the place. It's going to be in your decision. So one of the easiest way to do this is to go on a social media fast. First of all, you need to go ahead and control the inputs coming into you. Many people start their day off by basically now looking at their phones, which is a mistake. Why? Because now the world begins to dictate to you how you should feel instead of you dictating to it. Okay. If possible, shut off or delete all your social media alerts so you're not basically, so you can go ahead and break the habit of constantly now breaking your concentration in one area only to see it and find out who basically responded to your video on dancing cats, which are hilarious, by the way. Anyway, moving on. Secondly, if you have a family or roommates, I totally get it. Guys, I'm living with a lot of people, and right now in the midst of the quarantine, that's exactly what's happening. Single parents, I'm talking to you and all stuff. Some of you got 2 and 3 kids you're taking care of. And you're like saying, how in the world am I going to go ahead and find this ability to go ahead and have that CIA mentality like you're talking about? Well, in this case, then I want to go ahead and have you create a new morning ritual. Okay. I want you to make it a practice of getting up 2 hours early before your alarm clock. Now you may be saying, Des, there is no way in Hades I'm doing that. You're absolutely crazy. Delete. This is nonsense. But hold on a second before you go ahead and hit that stop button. Okay. The quiet time allows you to think, pray, read, and exercise. This morning ritual will fire up your creative thinking and help you focus on ways to win. What are we talking about? I want you to see yourself basically as a phone. Okay. And you guys have all had the frustration of starting your day, getting into your car and realizing you have no charger and you're only at 12% and you got an hour commute to the office. Wow. You already know that you don't have enough power to go ahead and utilize your phone. Many of us are starting our day without enough power to go ahead and give to a world that's constantly taking from us. Your decision And a decision I'm hoping you'll go ahead and take me up on of getting 2 hours ahead and also do whatever you can go ahead and do is designed for you to go ahead and power up so that you're able to go into the day which has every intention to take from you. But instead of you going into the day at 12%, you're going into the day at 100% because you chose you and you made a decision to go ahead and nourish yourself first. Good idea? Cave in Afghanistan isn't looking so bad now, is it? Of course not. Take a listen to this right now. I do this with all my clients. They love it. And they always basically have amazing things to say about it. Try it. Get back to me. Let me know what you think. So you right now as a next step to basically reinventing ourselves and being able to pivot is you having the ability to go ahead and get accountable fast. You know, as a professional coach, this is what people are hiring me for partly. Again, I'm a clarity, strategy, and accountability coach. A lot of us have great ideas, but you've been there like I've been there. Great ideas, but we start with a bang, end with a fizzle. And let's face it, for a lot of you guys out there who are over 40, you don't have a lot of people in your face telling you what you should do. After all, you're grown. And while that is a benefit, it's also basically a huge handicap when you're now at an age when you need that level of adult supervision, basically being that person who keeps you on track. When you're in a season of incredible change like we are right now, panic and worry, in fact, when the panic and worry are all about being accountable to someone like a partner, coach, or a mentor is absolutely invaluable. So let me be clear on this season. You're not trying to get somebody, your girlfriend, your guy friend, whatever, who are basically nothing more than just your quote unquote, fake glorified yes men or yes women. You don't need a hype man right now. You're great. You're amazing. Girl, you go. Anything you do is going to be fantastic. This is not what you need. You need a person who's going to basically help you stay accountable to the promises that you have made to yourself and to the projects in this season so that you can be committed to now basically being committed to overcome and take the steps basically, and also to keep you accountable when you try to go back to your old comfort zones. Okay, this is what you need. If you need help with that, go ahead. I'll let you know at the end on how you can go ahead and basically get somebody like that for yourself. But moving on, last but not least, you need to measure. You need to have measurable activity coupled with tangible progress. Matter of fact, when you have two of these things, according to studies on that, when a person basically has written out their goals and tasks to be able to accomplish, their ability to go ahead and now succeed go up to 70%. But when that goal is now basically now partnered with accountability, their ability now to go ahead and now become successful and hit their goals goes up to as much as 90%. So if right now in this season, you're interested in terms of making moves financially, socially, mentally, career-wise, whatever situation may be, accountability is going to go ahead and be the key. How do I know that, Des? Because when I wrote my third book, matter of fact, How to Fight the Devil as Your Life Coach, I came up with that idea in 2013. Guess when it got published? 2018. What happened? Was I writing it a syllable at a time? No. What ended up happening was this old guy got distracted on that, and everything that I used as an excuse, was legitimate. But when I started getting tired of hearing my own BS for not moving forward, I raised the white flag and decided to go ahead and hire a coach. And here's what the coach did. He kept me accountable. And what I couldn't get done in 5 years, I got done in 4 months. So accountability in this season is really about you staying on course so that you can get someplace faster. Is that what you need? I bet you do. So that can be the case. Hang on to the end because you're going to be able to go ahead and now get that type of help. But let's continue to go moving forward. Hope you're enjoying this so far, by the way. Okay. All right. So get busy. And I mean really busy. You know, let's face it, you're normal. I'm just going to be very honest with you. I'm coaching you right now. So I'm going to get in your face. Here's the deal, guys. Your normal got exposed for basically being inadequate. Your typical, average, and expected ways of doing things created an atmosphere of complacency. As a result, you stopped innovating. Let that sink in for a second. Now, Des, why are you going to go ahead and blame me? Am I not the victim here? Are you really? I want you to think about this. When you first started your career, Matter of fact, your sales job, maybe it was your new business, maybe it was your ministry. You were all over the place. You could not be stopped. You were a force of nature. And that tremendous amount of massive levels of action, coupled with incredible enthusiasm, yielded some phenomenal results. And what ended up happening was you started getting those results. They started coming in. You recognize a pattern. And then so for somehow, some way, you push the button on automatic and you decided to go ahead and put your feet up and now relax and coast. And as months went by and months turned into years, you got complacent, you got lazy. Why? Because, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Wrong. Your lack of innovation basically created a blind spot, which now put you in a position to where if you were able to go ahead and stay mindful, could have seen this coming. So that's all well and good. But what can I do? So in the words of Grant Cardone, author of the 10X rule, which I recommend you definitely do get, you will need to take your typical level of revenue generating activity and increase those efforts by tenfold. Okay, this new habit will be hard, but the massive action created by your new surge will generate more activity, which will encourage your hope and increase your certainty that better days are still ahead. Des, hold on a second. Before you go any further, what do you mean by that? Here's what I mean. So let's pretend for a second that you are a restaurateur and right now you're coming out of this quote unquote quarantine and you're trying to go ahead and basically survive. If you're thinking that you're going to do the same things you did before that door closed, you better think again. So if you were sending out an average of, say, matter of fact, 100 flyers in any given week, I need you to bump that up to 1,000. Exactly. And also, or even more. Here's the deal. You need to go ahead and operate in a level of massive action because you need massive results. Here's the problem that most people have. They set these minuscule 1x, 2x at the most type of goals, but then they get it and it's like womp womp. Why? Because even when they were able to accomplish the goals on that, it wasn't impactful, it wasn't compelling, and it wasn't able to go ahead and move the needle both emotionally or financially. Right now, you're going to need to go ahead and move that needle. So whether you're a person basically who has a barbershop, hair salon, restaurant, or just a person trying to go ahead and get their life insurance, matter of fact, clientele up and running, you need to go ahead and take a look at everything that you've been doing and ask yourself this question: how can I 10x that? Now, I'm going to tell you right now, this is going to be hard. All right. But this is about you now setting a new level. This is not about perfection, by the way. Even if you're like saying, Des, I'm huffing and puffing and I can't get to 10x. The point is, when you now have centered your ability around 10x levels, even though if you don't necessarily meet 10x, but you now get to 7, 6, or 7x, you've already basically maximized what you normally have been doing. Remember, normal, same, inadequate. Matter of fact, those are considered normal. You're challenging that. You're becoming innovative again. And now what ends up happening, customers are coming in, you're seeing results, and now your hope is assured that this too will pass. Trust me when I say this right now, use this, you will thank me later. Next, how to set your level to survive. We hear a lot of things in our society, but a lot of people right now, unfortunately, are going to be, having a hard time recovering because they don't know what season they're in. And that's what this chapter is all about. $40 haircuts, $7 coffees, cafes, if you will, on that 1 hour commutes, economy class airline tickets, mani-pedis every Friday. Right now, everyone is evaluating what we really need to survive. I want you to think about when a boat is sinking, everything except the bare essentials are tossed overboard. Everything except the bare essentials are tossed overboard. Failure to recognize that you are in survival mode will sink your company if you don't get rid of the non-essentials in order to survive. I want you to think about your boat is going down and you're insisting that you don't get rid of the piano. Come on. If you're going to go ahead and find yourself getting through this right now, the best you can do at this time is simply go ahead and survive. All right. But hey, wait, there's more. The first thing, but as you're basically now looking right now at your current situation, you're like saying, but Des, what do I let go of? Well, the first thing that needs to go overboard is your pride. Okay. Your pride of, but what will they think about me if I do this? What will they say? How will this go ahead and look? Listen, your vanity is not worth you going down with the ship. Okay. So more companies and ministries will fail because they value their vanity. Yes, their vanity over simply common sense. So don't fall into the trap. This same group of individuals that you are basically worried about, well, they're filing Chapter 11 right now, bankruptcy, because they failed to recognize that their ship was sinking, filled with wasteful items, processes, staff, and procedures that hindered their ability to go ahead and survive. So recognize the season you're in, turn your dial to survive, eliminate the waste, only count the things that are essential, and let's go ahead and basically now stay on course so we can go ahead and fight, in fact, live to fight another day. Moving on. Feed the baby. Maybe say, what are you talking about? I don't have any kids or whatever. This is just basically my take on this particular concept. Surviving doesn't look pretty. That's another thing. You're going to think that you're going to look cool doing it. You're not. And for a season, you may not look like a successful ministry, playwright, actor, restaurateur, or whatever. Listen, we're coming out of the, matter of fact, historical level global pandemic. Okay. Don't worry about style points at this point. Feed the baby dictates that you do whatever it takes to keep the vision fed, even if that means that you have to get a 9-to-5 job, drive for Uber, or move in with your parents. Now, for some of you right now, you're like saying, hold on a second, but I'm an entrepreneur. Listen, drop the romance with I'm an entrepreneur. I shouldn't have to do another job, blah, blah, blah. If this was your child right now, and some of you have had that experience overall, and you lost a job, but you had a child and, matter of fact, children to go ahead and deal with, matter of fact, a mortgage to go ahead and do, and matter of fact, and be able to go ahead and pay, you did whatever you needed to feed that baby. So if this is your season where you're going right now, matter of fact, if this is your season where it seems like, well, I'm going back. So you're telling me I need to go back to move forward? Yeah. In this season, if you need to go back by basically doing things that don't seem necessarily glamorous, who cares? Shut them out. You do what you need to do to go ahead and basically now keep this vision fed, keep this dream alive. And if that basically means you're doing things on the outside in order to go ahead and make it happen, do what you got to do to feed the baby. Progress is all that you should be measuring. You know, raise your hand if you're a perfectionist. Okay. I coach a lot of individuals who basically have claimed that they are perfectionists. And why am I basically dealing with this group right now? Because listen, I need you to go ahead and understand. I understand you're having a very, very hard time. Why? Here's what's happening. Everything that you know, your process, your procedures, your expectations, and how people should act, how people should react, how systems should react to you. You put a lot of work in knowing about these things. Now, all of a sudden, that's gone. Nothing is for sure anymore. And the one thing that you notice about perfectionists is when they are not assured of a perfect outcome or can control all aspects, matter of fact, they seldom find themselves walking in joy. And most of all, what ends up happening when they perceive that this can't be done perfectly, or the details of all the variables now begin to go ahead and overwhelm them, they shut down. So why am I basically saying this for either, whether that's you or whether you're basically working around people like that you're depending to be on their A game during this incredible crisis? You're going to need to go ahead as the leader to do this. You need to go ahead and redo all your projections to measure progress, not perfection. And that recalls all areas. So listen, you already know right now that sales are down. Okay. But you need to be celebrating that we got a sale today. Okay. As a matter of fact, you used to go ahead and basically knock out 1,000 units of blah, blah, blah. If you're now getting, 200 units, applaud that. Listen, if the blood in the body stops pumping and stops moving, death is imminent. Okay. Now you may be saying, listen, but I'm injured on the side. I'm bleeding from here. Or I'm bleeding from there. But is the blood still moving? Yes. Listen, a lot of us right now are finding where our businesses, ministries, and vision may be on life support, on the gurney, if you will, but at least the blood is still moving. Okay. So right now at this stage of the game, stop now looking at the perfection of us hitting that number, us not hitting that number, blah, blah, blah. Throw that out to the side right now and start now making progress moving. I want to quote Dr. King here, where he says, if you can't fly, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you cannot walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, keep moving. And that's my advice to you. Let's keep it moving. All right. So how to get real and get some sleep. Okay, Des, that seems kind of unusual. Where are you going with this? Hold on. I'll go ahead and let you know. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and basically use our good friend here, Tony Robbins, has been in the personal development game for over 40 years and has spoken to millions of people in over 100 countries. And this is some of the very wise advice that is very helpful in times like these. So I'm going to go ahead and give that to you. So here's what he said. You need to now see a situation for what it is and not more than what it is. Let me explain. Cognitive distortion. Ever heard of it? Okay. This is what's a psychological term that a lot of, matter of fact, people have used, in which it basically describes simple ways our mind convinces us of things that aren't really true. Okay. Example, you got a pink slip and they told you that you've lost your job. Okay. You've lost your job, but you conclude, I lost my job because I'm the worst human being in the world. Excuse me? Hold on a second. Cognitive distortion. Basically taking a situation and now making the meaning to be out to be something that is not really true at all. And many people right now, unfortunately, are making those leaps emotionally, which is causing the level of stress. It's already stressful enough to go ahead and having lost a job. But can you now see that stress now going up to another level? Because now you're associating that with personal failure. Guys, when people start getting into that type of level, it's almost like digging into a hole so deep it's hard to get out of. All right. So you need to go ahead and pay attention. So what do you need to go ahead and do that? Well, first of all, we got to go ahead and retrain the brain. This is what I do mostly as a professional coach. We're helping people now get out of cognitive distortion and start seeing the situation for what it is and not more than what it is. When you now are able to go ahead and see the situation there, then you can go ahead and now but to go ahead and focus. In fact, the appropriate energies to go ahead and see that thing come to fruition. But if we're battling several different fronts, both the loss of a job and your conclusion that you are a horrible human being, you're spending so much time on the I'm a horrible human being. You don't really have time to focus on getting another job because your self-doubt, your low self-esteem is now telling you overall that it's time for you to, well, don't even bother put in a resume because you're a horrible human being, something that is not true. So you're going to retrain the brain to go ahead and start thinking of yourself overall in a way that keeps you functional. Also, let me go ahead and bring up this amazing point. It's simple, but incredibly profound. Breathe. A lot of that cognitive distortion, the fear, the anxiety, even sleepless nights, that typically you'll find out when a person is depressed or basically is feeling very low, melancholy, their breathing is very shallow. What's happening? Matter of fact, the blood that should be going to their prefrontal cortex, which now houses their working memory, where a lot of the knowledge, memories, and everything that's stored that help them go ahead and function on an everyday basis is getting constricted. So your ability to go ahead and breathe when times of stress come up is absolutely incredible. Now, Des, are you just talking about regular breathing because I'm doing it right now? No, here's what we're talking about that you should be intentionally doing. And I want to go ahead and I'm borrowing this right now from Brendon Broussard. He's the author of the book, matter of fact, High Performance Habits. Amazing books. Please go ahead and pick it up. So Brendon talks about in a chapter called Release the Tension, Set the Intention. And he used that in the form of breathing. So watch me as I do this. So right now you find yourself getting a little tense, or you're just about to go into a meeting, or just about to go ahead and talk to the kids, and you're feeling some kind of way, which probably isn't going to yield a very positive result. Stop right now and now practice what I'm about to show you. So first of all, breathe in and then breathe out. Breathe in and then breathe out. Now, when you breathe out, I want you to say the word release. Remember, you're retraining the brain because the brain believes what you tell it. So when you're telling it to say release, I want you to literally see yourself in your mind's eye, releasing the tension or the stress of what you have at that moment. Listen, some of you guys are saying, oh my gosh, this is some kind of mumbo jumbo. Trust me when I say this works, because what's physiologically happening is now you're feeding oxygen to that prefrontal cortex. And now what's happening, the area which reason is now stored, is now basically getting oxygenated. You see, when a person's out cutting off reason, all that's left is instinct. And that's a very base element of us, which basically gets into those very poor knee-jerk, all I saw was red type of activity, and you don't want that. So by you now breathing in and then out, matter of fact, say release, see the tension go out. Do that a couple of times as you are now, quote unquote, calming down. Then as you start getting to that place, set the intention. Literally tell yourself, this is how I'm going to behave in this meeting. Ask yourself, what does my team need right now? What does my wife and kids need right now? Set the intention. And by doing so, you basically give yourself the ability to take a beat, breathe, set the intention, and now your ability now to go ahead and now do that very thing that will basically provide a positive, matter of fact, outcome becomes a lot easier. Do this and you'll find it extremely helpful. Also too, last but not least, and also get some sleep. Guys, I'll never forget my experience. You know, as a coach, I had one of my clients come up to me basically saying, I need to get a coaching session with you right now. And he was just nervous and kind of all over the place. Actually, I thought he was on drugs at first. And also, but I know this guy, and I know that probably wasn't going to be the case. So something else had to be going on. And I started to figure out, well, what could that possibly be? So he's going on and on about what was happening and what he saw as a huge and big deal. So listened to it for about a few minutes and just interrupted it and said, hey, when was the last time you got some sleep? He said, well, I slept last night. I said, well, how many hours of sleep do you typically get? Oh, 3-4 hours, he said. I said, really? How's that working? Well, you know, I got a lot of stuff going on at work. So, you know, I get through or just basically pound back a couple things of coffee and it gets me through the day. All right. So I said, listen, before we go ahead and basically schedule a coaching session, I want you to do me one favor and I'll give this to you for free. Go ahead. I want you tonight to go to bed early. I want you to go to bed, matter of fact, 9:30, 10 o'clock at the latest. Okay. And then after you get up, come back, call me, and we'll talk then. Well, he did exactly what I asked him. And when he came on back, his persona was so much, his energy, his tone, his persona, his personality, the manicness, the nervousness had gone away. And he was, well, himself. And he was basically a person full of reason. Now he was able to explain the real issues. It was an emergency, but it wasn't basically having the type of effect now. And now he was able to go ahead and see what he needed to do because he got out of his own way. And how did that happen? He got some sleep. And right now, for a lot of you right now who are dealing with money issues, what's going to happen to my kids, all those types of things, how bills are going to get paid, am I going to have to file for bankruptcy, blah, 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 blah. With all those things coming about right now, as far as that's concerned, a lot of people out there are going to start taking a look and start saying, whoa, this is affecting my sleep. Listen, I've been there, you know, almost lost my house, matter of fact, a number of years back in 2013. And we had a lot of sleepless nights, but your ability to go ahead and sleep is paramount because what does sleep do? It helps you reboot your brain, basically, and also to allow you to go ahead and now approach the day with a level of freshness to be able to see things clearly. When that is hindered, we have problems and you become like my coaching friend there and all stuff, manic and basically seeing situations for more than what they are instead of seeing for what they are. So again, guys, I'm not a big advocate of the synthetic versions of sleeping pills, but listen, get some warm milk. Okay. And also go ahead and get some of the natural sleep remedies that are melatonin and also as well as tryptophan or sometimes of a combination thereof on that. But find ways to go ahead and get rest because your ability to reboot is going to be the secret sauce to help you now become creative and now be able to go ahead and help you line upon line, figure a way to go ahead and get out of this amazing situation created from COVID-19. Everybody, this has been Desmond Blackburn. I hope you found this helpful. Did you like it? Was this helpful? Was some things you were able to go ahead and use? Well, hey, don't be selfish. Share this with a friend. Love to get a chance matter of fact, to work with them. Or if you want to, matter of fact, send me their contact information. More than happy to go ahead and forward them this free e-course that you received on how to go ahead and pivot and basically adjust your skills for COVID-19. If you like what you saw here today and you've been hearing a lot about coaching and one-on-ones and different things of that matter, I've been telling you all throughout that there's a special offer that we're going to have here for you to take full advantage of. And guess what? The price is right. It's also free. That's right on that. So guys, as a professional coach overall, this is what I do. And one-on-one coaching on that has been extremely beneficial. But please do not take my word for it. So I want to go ahead and offer to you, matter of fact, a complimentary one-on-one coaching session from which we can actually get a chance to now work on what challenge you have specific to you and basically what challenges that you feel are getting in the way so we can provide a level of clarity, provide a strategy, and then help you stay accountable so that you can go ahead and see this thing through during this time by helping you stay focused. And for some of you out there, you may be saying, that's exactly what I need at this time. So go ahead and click on the link below where it says DesmondABlackburn.com and go ahead and schedule a time that works best for you. And we'll go ahead and make that happen. In the meantime, please follow me. If we're not already friends, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. We basically do almost a daily video called Power Moves, as well as host a weekly interview show called Doers, from which I find incredible individuals just like you and basically now talk about the extraordinary things they do and bring it to my community. Okay, guys, this has been Desmond Blackburn. Thank you so much. And thank you for joining me. I hope you found this helpful. Send me a comment, post it on social media. Let me know what you thought about this. Until next time, take care and God bless.